Adventurers, prepare to encounter Tabletop, the platform designed with clarity of purpose to elevate your online role-playing experience beyond the limitations of conventional tools, opening immersive, engaging, remote role-playing to everyone. Tabletop is a toolset thoughtfully crafted to optimize the mechanics of your gaming adventure, making the intricate details effortless. For the game masters, prepare to play more and prep less. We've developed a suite of tools specifically designed to handle the busy work, allowing you to focus on creating immersive stories and unforgettable experiences for your players. Whether you're a first-time game master or a seasoned veteran, our tools are geared to impress players, streamline gameplay, and enhance your creative process. Discover unique features designed to enrich both map-based and theater of the mind play, helping you craft vivid, unforgettable narratives. Furthermore, breathe life into your settings with Game Master-controlled video backgrounds and effects, enabling you to make your players feel as if they're truly part of the world you've created. AI-powered transcriptions, voice notes, and automatic summaries help provide continuity throughout your campaign. During both prep and play, Merlin, the magical AI assistant, will answer campaign and rules questions, automate setup, and turn you into an instant tabletop power user. As for the players, we've embraced the roleplay element like never before. With Tabletop, you can instantly immerse yourself in the game with zero learning curve, using nothing but a web browser. We believe in preserving the genuine essence of role-playing. This isn't a video game, but an authentic online role-playing experience. Step into the world of virtual cosplay and be your character. Choose an existing augmented reality avatar, or create your own by combining and adjusting our video filters for nearly infinite customization. Enjoy a minimalist, functional virtual tabletop that enhances social engagement, letting you focus on the narrative and camaraderie that are at the heart of every adventure. Tabletop isn't just an upgrade, it's a game changer. Prepare to experience role-playing reimagined.
Hello, in this week's video, I am joined by Tom from Tabletop. Hi, Tom.
Hello. Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You messaged me and said, would I care to have a look at your product? First, what made you want to attempt to do one?
So I'm not trying it on my own. I'm actually working with a group of 3 other guys to build out Tabletop. And really what we were trying to do is create as compelling and engaging of an experience as possible. Sort of recreate the magic of sitting around an actual table, but doing it online. Our second focus was really to try and reduce the GM burden, allowing game masters to play more and prep less. So basically spend more time in the game rather than fiddling with the VTT.
The problem with VTTs, such as the 2 other big ones, is that they come empty and you have to put all that effort in typing everything out. That's what I found. Yep. You have a lot of things already programmed in, I noticed, watching your YouTube channel, which I'll put up now. Yeah, you're trying to make it easier. That does seem to be what it's all about. We'll have a look at it in a second. How do you hope yours will be different or better than the main one?
So I think everybody's got, at this point at least, a lot of experience trying out different VTTs. I mean, over the past 4 or 5 years, a lot of games have gone online. And I think a lot of people have sort of struggled with getting new ones set up or joining a group in a new VTT. So our own group included. So really we tried to identify the pain points on those and see what we could do to make it a little bit easier. The other guys working on the development team are really incredible engineers. So they're able to code in a lot of the difficult things that make setup in other VTTs a little bit of a chore. So, I mean, one of the things we can do is take anything copy and pasted. So you can literally go onto any website, whether it's Archives of Nethys or D&D Beyond, copy and paste stat blocks, and you can drop it right into Tabletop. And that's going to format the pluses, the minuses, the dice strings, things like that. So at the very least, you can create a usable stat block in seconds rather than trying to find a specific role and filling out 6 or 7 different fields. We've sort of boiled that down to just copy and paste.
Yeah, let's jump into your webpage. First of all, I just love this. I just sat here doing this for a few minutes, watching the background change. So yeah, virtual avatars. Tell us about what this is.
So I can show you a little bit of that once we kick over to the VTT. Okay. But really, one of the things that we wanted to add was audio and video that you didn't have to fight with. I think most people have at least 2 different tabs for running a game. One of them being Discord or Zoom or something like that. So we wanted to try and make a system where you could get it all in the VTT. And on top of that, I think everybody's used the silly filters or Snapchat filters, things like that. And it just adds an extra level of virtual cosplay. So you can play around with different characters, different tokens, things like that.
All right. Dynamic background, is that for behind like green screen sort of thing?
Yes. Yeah. You don't need a green screen. It does work better with one. But yeah, if we were in game now, we could dynamically switch the backgrounds. Sort of as we go from town to forest, we could pull down basically the backdrop there, and we'd suddenly look like we're in a haunted forest or a graveyard or on top of a mountain, anything like that.
That sounds good. This is what excites me: the maps and tokens that are already built in. It's best if I get you to show me around. But your Kickstarter, when is it actually doing? Late 2023.
So I think we've run out of 2023 here, so we may push this one into early 2024. Yeah. We don't have a hard and fast date on that yet, so we're looking probably sometime around March to kick things off. But it's one of those things where every time we take a look at the roadmap, we think, okay, we can squeeze in one more feature before the Kickstarter, or let's just get the audio and video just right before we start testing. All right, so you'll notice I've got a little bit of clipping on my background up there. It thinks I've got a shield on my wall there, and it thinks that's another person, so it's trying to crop them in. But you can see the virtual avatars here. My eyes are a bit bigger, and I don't normally have this tint, this hue here. So you can play around with all that. I mean, obviously it's a game, so you're meant to have fun with it. So yeah, every different token you can see here. This is Squick's token that I'm currently moving around. But you can set it for different tokens. You've got a drop down, and you can have them set up for basically just about any NPC or player that you're going to be running.
That looks awesome. Yeah. So you can have is there a maximum amount of people who can play?
So as of right now, the only thing that really limits it is the screen space. So the camera size, you can see in the upper left here, this is the DM corner, essentially. The other players will be listed out either vertically or horizontally, depending on how you have things set up. And we found that after about 8 players or so, there's no real easy way to squeeze all the video feeds in there, but it's stable up to 9 or 10 people.
Wow. Right, so presumably you've got a good dice system going on there. When you roll dice, they go on your screen, don't they?
Yep. So there's a couple of different ways. The easiest way, and I've found what comes up a lot, is you've got the sort of command line that comes up here, and you can punch in just about anything and get the dice to roll there. We'll roll them for whatever character you have selected, and they'll stay on the screen until you click. So you can see the dice, you can see other people's dice. We've also got the character sheets on the right-hand side here. These are going to be different for, obviously, everybody's character. It's currently built out with the framework of 5e for this sort of organized character sheet here. But all these are rollable. All you have to do is click on them. You'll get the con roll there, or you can roll the different skills or attacks. I don't think I have any attacks loaded in here for Squick, but we can show you what it looks like here, and it's really relatively simple. And then you don't have to get too fancy with this. You can see it's just a text box. We'll just say +10 to hit and 4d6 damage. It's a pretty good goblin dagger there. Then we'll go ahead and update the creature. You'll see it added right at the bottom. The +10, it takes that as an attack roll. And then the damage, you can roll it just like that. So adding or removing skills, tweaking things, you can go in there anytime, adjust your stats. We're trying to make it really easy.
Yeah, that seems really good. I did notice on one of your videos, and you almost did it there, you almost have cocked die.
So the dice and the numbers are sort of determined when you roll. I think it just tries to keep it lined up. We have had issues in the past where it's sort of knocked it a little bit, but yeah, you can't. It's not like you have to worry about fudging other people's rolls by rolling other ones. If we were to throw some more on here, we can even go up a little bit, so you can see them really get bounced around. But it'll tally them all up. And it's just one of those fun things to see the dice.
We're building this out. What sort of challenges have you come across?
So really, it's a matter of making sure we cover all the different preferences. A lot of people have a lot of different ways that they want to use a VTT and a lot of different games that they play. So really making sure that we collect feedback from everybody and build a VTT that's adaptable to the way that people want to play has been the most challenging part. Obviously, we could make a VTT that's perfect for our own games, but we want to make something that you can use for different systems, that you can use for systems that haven't been made yet. And I think just kind of keeping that future proofing in mind has been a real challenge.
And I guess keeping it accessible for newbies as well as people who are going to write on it for hours and hours is something you have to bear in mind. People like myself I've been on Roll20 and stuff, but it's a struggle. I want, I've moved characters around on your sheets, and it was simple. The map I used had no gridded lines on, but I believe you can turn grids on, and that's always the bugbear, isn't it? When if you've got a gridded map off the internet, that getting your grid to match an already gridded thing is a bit of a issue every time, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, that's the kind of struggle that you run into as the guy running the game. Suddenly you've got a last minute map change, and you've got to find a new map. The players take a direction that you don't expect. You've got to sort of keep the game going while loading in new maps, while getting everything lined up. And we wanted to try and keep that as simple as possible and as easy as possible, because I mean, the learning curve for VTTs is the hardest part. Like you said, you want to be able to get in there, start playing as quick as possible, and that's really what we're shooting for.
So what sort of DM tools have you got in there to make it easier?
So like you said, like you had mentioned, the auto gridding. If your map comes with grid on it, we can auto detect that to an extent. If you take a cut out of another map and the grid isn't sort of lined up perfectly, it's a lot harder. But if it's a sort of professionally made map or something that you made in something like Incarnate or another online map making tool, we'll basically approximate the grid, and you'll be able to basically confirm that our best guess is lined up with it. If it doesn't have squares, you can adjust the size and overlay the grid on it yourself as you do it. Again, just to get the maps in there as quick as possible.
Do you have a map creator that you can sort of throw something together?
So we don't have anything to build maps out. I think that quickly gets into the land of building two products at once. So I mean, there's tons of phenomenal tools out there. And what we want to try and do is work with a lot of the map creation tools to let you import the VTT files. So basically, if you do have Fog of War already loaded up on a map that you've made in Dungeon Alchemist or something like that, you should be able to just say, okay, here's the VTT file. We don't have all the bells and whistles, the doors, the dynamic lighting yet, but it will take the Fog of War and overlay that on there. So if you put the work in to set it up on another program, we want to sort of maintain that work so you're not working for it twice.
Can you show us the Open 5e section, please?
Yep. So over in the Manage section, if you're looking at the creature library and you want to add a template, which is basically what we call any monsters or anything that's going to be on there more than once, like wolves, there could be 5 or 6 of them. We've loaded in all of the Open 5e stuff. So the easiest way to get to it and to create something from it is just to pull it in from here. I mentioned wolf. You type it into the name. We're going to show you what's on here and pre-populate everything there. We don't have images yet, but all of the stats are on there. If we wanted to go ahead and add this, we've got our wolf. You can drag it right onto the screen. You can make a few copies of it. So you got wolves 1, 2, and 3. And you go over to the character sheet and you'll be able to see those on there. So these are all the SRD monsters. These are all the orc license stuff that's been released for Level Up 5e or Advanced 5e rather, and other groups who have put their content freely available online. So we're able to import that and make that available. And again, just like Squick here, these are going to be tied to that token, and you're going to be able to see the results of the roll.
Yeah, it's great. That makes it easy. I don't know if VTTs already have this, but if there's a fire breaks out, are there any images you can put on to show a building's on fire? Or
so I'm not sure if I've got any in this campaign. We could probably switch over. Oh no, we do. So one of the things we want to do is make sure we support all the different file types. So we can do GIFs or GIFs, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and animated PNGs. So this one's an animated PNG here. So this doesn't have the background on it. You can drop the border. So it's really sort of right on the map there. And again, you can clone these around.
I love that.
I got a couple other ones here that I've used in games. So just anything that you can find online, you can pull into there in an animated token.
That's awesome.
We've also got the CPU-friendly version of the Fire here if you've got an older system. So just in case.
That's really good. Whispers as well, sending messages to your players and such.
So one of the things that we went back and forth on is how much of a chat system did we want to put in the game. As of right now, the only system that does exist is the Whispers. So you can send a quick message to the DM, to another player, and it'll pop up on their screen and they can respond basically right on screen to give you a way to get someone's attention or to send a quick message without sort of shouting out in the audio stream.
Yeah. Can you pass handouts that way? Or? So
one of the things that we've added is the points of interest here. I'm not sure if you've got a chance to play around with these, but basically we've got a few different types. Some of them link between maps. Some of them will pop up as a reference on the right-hand side, and other ones we have for the teleprompter here. As of right now, maybe by the time the video comes out, we'll have updated it. But as of right now, these are DM only. So these are notes that you can fill out to yourself to sort of read off of. So we can add a test one here just so I can show you what I'm talking about, because it's easier to show than tell. So basically we can take any text and it's going to overlay it on the screen here. You can see this is the teleprompter and it'll pop up right here. So basically the idea behind it is that you're able to bring up talking points, read descriptions, and basically get access to notes that you've written down that you want to make sure you read out.
Yeah,
right in front of the screen. It keeps your eyes forward. You're not looking down at a notebook. You're not flipping through pages, and you can see you can tag them to anywhere on the map, just so that you've got a chance to really see it and not skip it. So I mean the other types that we've got, I don't think I've used any on this map here, but we've got links to other maps. We've got links to staircases, things like that, so you can really go up and down between different areas. Let me switch over here. I'll find one that's got a few set up. So this one's actually, this is a Pathfinder game, but it's not too much different here. We've got a couple of maps on the right-hand side. If we were to go into, let's say Paget's here, give it a second to load, you can see we've got a description set for the hut. We've got a little background information that'll pop up if you were to click on this. This is a reference on the right-hand side, whereas the hut description is going to be one of the teleprompters. And then you can see the other points of interest we've got are the two links. So these are basically going to link you between maps. So rather than going back through the map management page and shuffling that way, you can pre-create these. So you can say, okay, we're going to go back to the swamp. It'll switch you right over to a different battle map here. Or if you want to go back, you can click there. And again, you can set these up all ahead of time so you're not fumbling with it during the game. It's one less thing to worry about if you know everything is in place. Is
there going to be any sort of cost then? Is there going to be some sort of tiers for access? Or
so obviously these things cost money to run. As of right now, everything is completely free. We're in alpha testing and basically we just need feedback. So server costs are currently low because we don't have that many games. So everything's free right now, but ideally we would need to turn it into some sort of subscription model to support changes and support things like the transcription features, which I mean are going to cost money to run as we scale up.
Fair enough. And what about updates? What updates do you hope you're going to tackle down the line?
So really everything you see now is essentially early alpha. There's a lot of features that we'd like to put in. There's a lot of quality of life stuff that we'd like to put in, but it all comes down to sort of what we need to make a usable project and where that falls in terms of Kickstarter. So obviously we're working towards the Kickstarter, and like we said, probably early next year, early 2024 to get that started. And it all depends on what the funding looks like. We've got a list of stretch goals and things like that on there. Obviously we haven't put in anything like the marketplace quite yet, but we do want to get some area in there where users can get content, share content, and basically have stuff preloaded.
Well, I'm excited for you. Are you happy with it so far?
I gotta say, I'm extremely happy with how Tabletop works right now. Yeah. I've been running 2 or 3 games a week completely on Tabletop for the past probably year or so.
Right.
So late last year, we switched everything over. I think the only other thing that I'd want to throw in here would be some of the transcription features. I'm not sure if you got a chance to look at those, but basically, since we have audio and video tied to the VTT, we're able to capture transcripts broken down by player. And one of the things that gets us is basically running session notes. We're able to pull in all the users here. You can see this is my players for the Sunday game. You can see the list of NPCs as well as the pronunciations on them there, and then any places or items, ancient artifacts, things like that you want to add in there. You can save that, and then once the game runs, you can actually view the session history, and going back, you'll be able to see a quick outline of the campaign you ran. As well as sort of bullet points of what happened, and then the longer form recap here. And it really saves a lot of time in taking notes. I think everybody's had a really good session where you come out of it just sort of in a daze, and then you look down and realize you haven't taken a single note.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to where this goes. I wish you all the best with it, and thanks so much for coming on this little video.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.